Hello, everybody, and welcome to Västertorp here, south of Stockholm. I'm on my way to town this Thursday noon. Let's see what Stockholm can bring. You see the trees are colored in yellow and red. Beautiful autumn fall colors. Here I am on my way to town. I tell you more about my reading when I'm back at home, but right now I'm reading Vanessa Veselka's The Great Offshore Grounds, and I love it, that I can tell you. And I'm reading it together with Paula. And we tell you more about it when we're finished with it. So, be a little patient. In this weekly wrap-ups, I tell you everything, not everything, but almost everything about the week that is behind us, the week of reading, but also the week in the world, and in some parts also in my life. There is another week that has gone by, another week where we have seen a large rise of COVID-19 cases in Europe. There are, every morning when you hear the news, when I hear the news of Deutschlandfunk on my Spotify account, the podcast of the news, I hear new record numbers of infections being registered. In Germany, we were up on 7,700 on Friday, in which a number that is really very high and leads to huge concerns in Germany, but which is compared to other countries like France, where they have about 30,000 people infected each and every day, to the United Kingdom, where they have 15,000, and to Holland and to Spain. Still low, but everywhere in Europe it's rising. It seems that Europe is coming into focus of this, I won't call it second wave or whatever, but it's really still a very dangerous, or again, a very dangerous situation for each and every one of us. And we have to be careful. We have to have the hand hygiene. We have to wear the mask when we go into buildings, at least, or when we use public transport, which I very rarely do. And I really have decided to try to spend the next weeks not totally isolated, but more in social distancing than maybe the weeks in the summer. Take care more, buy groceries online, and order things that I need for my life online, and get the parcels and packages delivered to either the shop where I can pick them up or directly to my home. So that is it. So please take care, each and every one of you, because together we can do this. Together we will win against this virus, and we will get out of this horrible situation that most other countries in the world are in right now, and even you. And we all think, when is this over? When can we travel again? I had, I do these interviews with women football players, and this week I talked to Swedish left back and international player Jonna Andersson, who has played 50 internationals for Sweden. And one point in the dialogue we had was that Jonna said that she is really relaxing from playing football all year, from training and playing football all year, when at the end of the year, when she has some holidays, that she's able to travel to the place far away where she can forget about football, where she can forget about thinking about tactics or strategies or whatever, what she has to do, where she does individual training, but where she basically can be totally herself, to relax for the next round to come. And that is also in my life very important. In recent years, my life has been like that. I remember, I think since 2012, I was always traveling with my girls, with my daughters in the summer. We have been to London, we have been to Germany, to Berlin, we've been to Italy, we've been twice to Portugal, and we had with one of my daughters, I had the pleasure to visit the United States. We've been to California, to Oregon, and the state of Washington. We've been to Vancouver in Canada, to Whistler in the mountains, and we've been to Japan twice, to Tokyo, and even to other places in Japan. So those trips, they were always escapism from my life, from the everyday life, and something that I really looked forward to. that I had as a goal. You know, I have to work like 4 more months, work hard in my job, which I enjoy, but I always could look forward to this trip that I was going to take. I could say, okay, on July 7th, I will go on that plane, which will take me to Tokyo Narita Airport. And then I will travel through Japan, and I will be totally absorbed by these new experiences that I will make. These times are over, and it's really hard to focus on something good to come, because right now we are living in a tunnel. I think each and every one of us, and many people I know, are getting sick and get in despair, get depression. Some people even not a little amount of people, they are sort of neglecting all the measures that we have to take to stay safe. They construct conspirational theories that I really think are insane, that really risk the core that we live on, because there is a virus. It's not Bill Gates who invented this. It's not QAnon or whatever reptiloids or things that have invented this virus. This virus is real. It's out there, and it can catch you. It can catch me each time, and we have to be careful. So that's it, okay? I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I hope that you haven't clicked to switch to another video, to switch to another channel, and said, I don't want to hear about this virus when I look on BookTube. But it's there. It's everywhere around us. So forget about this now. The next thing I want to talk about is in 2 weeks from now, on Tuesday, 2 weeks from now, there's a presidential election in the United States. And recently I discovered that a very old television show that I loved when I grew up in the 1980s is back after like 40 years, almost 40 years it's back. It's not the same team anymore, but it's the same title, and it's the same sort of comedy factor on it. It's called Spitting Image. And Spitting Image is about celebrities, about politicians. And in the 1980s, there were lots of videos about President Ronald Reagan, about Margaret Thatcher, about Helmut Kohl from Germany, and many, many other people, Brezhnev and Andropov and Gorbachev. Now they make videos, of course, with a lot of Boris Johnson, who's the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, of course, a lot about Donald Trump, who's the President of the United States, about the royals in the UK, about Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One driver, and they have incredibly funny portrait of the American president. I just show you 2 pictures of Trump here, where he's tweeting from his bed, or another scene in that video that I watched that I will link down below, where he actually is replacing Vice President Mike Pence by the coronavirus, because he makes a deal with the coronavirus that the coronavirus can be the Vice President. I talked again about it. I'm so sorry. But let's carry on. So this is very funny. This is very satirical, hard stuff from the UK. As we know, British humor is sometimes very tough, but I like it, and I can laugh about it at times. Not about everything, but about a lot of things there. And it's good to laugh, isn't it, in these times? Let's go to the reading. The reading is right now not my strongest side. I have to say that the last 2 weeks maybe have been pretty tough on me to reading. Maybe it's because I have worked a lot in my free time when I don't have to work. I have worked a lot with the football interviews, with the soccer interviews that I did. As I told you, I interviewed Johnny Andersson, the Swedish women's national team, on Thursday. And I also, because we did it in Swedish, I texted the whole interview in English. This was the first time that I texted a whole YouTube video, which is a very interesting thing to do, but it takes a couple of hours to really finish. This interview was about 47, 48 minutes, and I cut it down to 21 because I think that people don't want to watch those long videos. Maybe the fans are willing to see like 20 minutes. So I will continue that, but I also want to read more. I really want to read more. And you know, I'm doing this buddy read. I started reading on Monday. I started reading this book here by Vanessa Veselka, which is The Great Offshore Grounds by Vanessa Veselka. It's, I'm about 160, 170 pages in of 450. I'm reading this together with Paula from Draw Your Book, and we had said to each other that we would read this within the course of 10 days, which will be Wednesday next week. I think I'm not going to manage really to finish it until Wednesday because I still have 280, 290 pages to go. So it will probably take a few days more. But it's worth reading, that I can tell you. It is consisting of 5 books. This is a book which has parts. The parts are called books. Book 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The book 1 was Henry Hudson. The second book I forgot actually the title right now. The chapters are, there are chapters with headlines that are pretty short. This is a story about 2 sisters, about Livy and Cheyenne. They are 33 years old, I think, when the novel starts. Their mother's name is Kristen, but Kristen is only the mother of one of the 2 girls. And the girls, or the women actually don't know if Kristen is their mother or not. What they know is that one of them was mothered by another woman that didn't want to have a kid at the time. They have both the same father, and that's where the novel starts. At the not at the birthday party, but at the wedding party of their father, Cyril, who's a super rich guy. But all the characters who are really acting in the book so far, at least, are not super rich. They are almost the opposite of it. And I learned a lot about the social system in the United States, about Kristen, the mother of the 2 kids, of the 2 sisters, for example, who has huge problems of getting health care, and about Essex, who is some kind of stepbrother to the girls. His actual name is Christian, I think, but everybody calls him Essex. And Essex is a name that was attached to him by one of the 2 sisters. I think it was Livy, hopefully, because Essex was the name of a boat that was hunting for the Great Offshore Grounds. The Great Offshore Grounds is a part of the sea, I think about 10 days west of the South American coast, where millions and billions of fish were swimming around, and they were called the Great Offshore Grounds, to go there and to really fish for fish. Does that make sense? No. There are connections to Moby Dick by Herman Melville here. Also remarks and things. I haven't read Herman Melville's Moby Dick. It's a very plot-driven story. There are lots of things that are happening. There are road trips through the United States that are very beautifully depicted. And I'm really, really looking forward to read the rest of it. But I'm slow at the moment, so bear with me, please. The Great Offshore Grounds by Vanessa, Veselka. Plans of reading, yes. I want to make another video, and maybe I do this right after this here. And this is about the Dublin Literary Award that will be awarded on Thursday this week. We will know who wins the Dublin Literary Award. As you know, I have still a book on my shelf. Not on the shelf, actually. It's actually below the camera right now. And this is Idaho by Emily Ruskovich. I'm almost finished. I have like 60, 70 pages to go. But first, Veselka, and then Ruskovich. And Ruskovich won the Dublin Literary Award last year, and I think very well deserved. It's really a winning book, a book that should win an award, a big award, and it did last year. And I tell you more about that book hopefully next Sunday by the latest. So this is my summary of this week, and I enjoyed very much the reactions to my favorite author tag video. I really picked Eric Ambler. If you haven't seen it, I picked Eric Ambler as my favorite author, although I haven't read him that much over the last 20, 30 years. But I picked him because he brought me to reading, and that's the way I picked him. I didn't want to pick somebody who's like a superstar of literature. So many of you have written in the comments that you don't know about Eric Ambler, that you might pick up a book by him. And that was the purpose of this video. And this made me very, very happy, actually. So thank you very much for those reactions. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you don't subscribe to my channel, please do so, because growing channels can deliver more stuff and more beautiful stuff here on BookTube. And we can reach out to more people, we can meet other people, and I can meet you and you and you that I haven't met before, or you can meet me. So that's always a great disadvantage. Subscribe to the channel, please. And if you are a returning subscriber, I thank you very much for your patience. I thank you very much for your affinity towards this channel, towards the things that I have to say. Have a great week. Next week, week 43, which is 1 week before the American election, then almost. And be safe, because I think I have to write this in capital letters now. Be safe. And I see you soon. Bye-bye.